Dwayne's not actually part of the opening match. Bit of a blow in one respect. Obviously, you have to jug your side to some extent.
Yeah, I'm learning to breathe and smile in this job, Skeet. It's a frustration. I understand he's got personal problems back in Barbados, so I can understand it from his point of view. It was frustrating that we only found out 2 days ago. So we're going to have to work our way around that and do the best we can without him.
What do you think might be his arrival time? Are you getting indication?
No, it's a good question. We're working closely with his management group to see when he can arrive.
Is there any doubt that he will not come?
Yeah, well, I think he's going through some pretty tough times at home, so there is some doubt, yeah, and let's just keep our fingers crossed.
And so, off the back of that, can you, and under the rules, etc., what can you do at such short notice?
No, well, at such short notice, we've got to. We're just going to have to play one of our local players, which is fine. We've got some good depth in our squad, so we've got some guys who have played international cricket. Obviously having Dwayne Smith would have been a huge bonus for us to go along with Alfonso Thomas, but we'll compensate by playing one of our, an Ashton Agar or an Ashton Turner, or give one of the young guys a chance.
What other options batting-wise at the top of the order, JL? You're probably working through a few combinations, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. Sean, obviously, he's been fantastic opening the batting in shorter form for cricket, particularly 2020 cricket. Ashton Agar did a pretty good job in Champions League. He's as exciting and natural a player, and you get sick of me saying it, but he's got enormous talent. Simon Kadich also. I've always feel that the most senior players in 2020 cricket are best suited opening the batting or batting in the top three. So he's an option. And Mitch, the two Marsh boys walking out together, opening the batting for the Scorchers would be pretty exciting as well. So there's plenty of combinations, and honestly, probably the opening position or the opening positions in 2020 are the best places to bat. So you've probably got 7 blokes putting their hand up.
You talk about senior players, and a lot of the Scorchers' success has been based on that. Do you feel you're a little short in that area now, potentially without Dwayne?
Oh, not really. No, we've got Alfonso Thomas and Simon Kadich as captain, Adam Voges, Nathan Coulter-Nile, Sean Marsh. We've got plenty of experience there. We've got plenty of senior players. So obviously you take one international out, you're always going to be hamstrung a little bit, but we'll hopefully work through that soon, and some of the other guys will step up.
How much confidence can you take from the Scorchers' previous successes, or to what extent is this just a clean slate, I suppose, like starting again?
No, 100%. I mean, what happened last year or the year before is totally irrelevant to me. I mean, it was great to have had those experiences and have played in front of the here at the Furnace. I can't wait for Boxing Day. I just think the atmosphere is going to be brilliant. So for us to have played in front of that is, we'll learn some lessons from the last 2 years, but it's irrelevant what's happened the last 2 years.
Is there any sense of wanting to get one back on Brisbane this weekend?
No, we want to beat Brisbane. We want to beat all the other teams as well. So they played very well against us last year. I mean, their strategy last year, particularly against our top order batting, was fantastic. I think we've seen it during the Ashes series. That's one of Darren Lehmann's great strengths. He's a real strategist. He's got a good cricket brain, and probably outwitted us a bit last year in the final. So we identified that and we respect that. We'll make sure we're hopefully one step ahead of them on Sunday night.
It's fair to say, on paper, you probably don't have, in previous years the same, I suppose. Age was questioned early on with the squad, the star factor that maybe other teams might have.
Oh yeah, maybe. Alfonso Thomas was brilliant for us last year, and do you know what, star factor? There might be some glitz and glamour about star factor, but we've got some incredible experience. I forgot to mention Brad Hogg as well, and I forgot to mention Michael Beer. So we might have the glitz and glamour, but how often does glitz and glamour win games of cricket? They might come off every now and then. We've got a great team. We've had some great build-up. Most of the guys who are with the Scorchers have been with the Warriors for the year. So glitz and glamour, mate, I couldn't care less about glitz and glamour. I want to see guys who perform, and we've got those guys. We've got a very strong team. We've seen it with the Australian team at the moment. We've got strong camaraderie within the group. That's the glue that'll keep it together when we're under pressure. Like glitz and glamour, mate, we've seen how that's gone for BBL teams over the last couple of years.
Mitch, is there an extra bit of excitement for you having missed last time to get involved in this tournament?
Yeah, I'm obviously very excited to be getting back out there and playing. It was really hard last year to watch my teammates play and obviously have that success and not quite get over the line. So I'm very excited to get out there and play with the boys.
How are you feeling fitness-wise? Probably a regular question you get, but are you all good now?
At the moment, yeah, the body's feeling really good. It was good to get some games under my belt before Christmas in the Shield, and yeah, at the moment I'm feeling really good. So as I said, I'm just very excited to get out there this year.
It's a pretty sort of explosive form of the game. Do you have to temper that a little bit, just given sort of your history with hamstring?
Yeah, I've asked the coach if I can field in slips for the first couple of games, but no, look, where my body's at right now, I've got 100%. I'm very comfortable in where it's at, so I'll be going 100%.
Do you train differently for Big Bash than you do during Shield season?
Not necessarily. I think the only real emphasis we've had on is our fielding. I think that's one of the biggest things for us is that can win your games. So that's really the only thing that changes. Everything else is pretty normal.
You were right up there in terms of the competition's leading scorers in the season you played, and then Sean was obviously up there last year. Is there any side bets with your brother about who'll finish on top?
No
Don't
side
talk
bets.
betting,
No.
do you?
We won't talk betting, no.
Maybe a sandwich.
No, nothing at all.
Justin, can we just ask you one on the Ashes? There's been a lot of praise for the Australian team and their performance, but from your point of view, where do you think it's gone wrong for England?
Well, I think one of the areas that's gone wrong for England is how well Australia have played. You know, they've been the three senior bowlers have stepped up, have really stood up, and have those senior bowlers and performing well is what you expect from a great team. It was almost reversed it. England for so long have had three senior bowlers led by Anderson and Graham Swan doing a great job. Australia now have got three senior bowlers all bowling well and Nathan Lyon doing a fantastic job. So that's a big factor in it. I think the camaraderie, we could feel it in England, that camaraderie that's been so strong, even though the results went against Australia, it was a lot closer than the result probably identified, but you could feel that camaraderie and you could see it, and you can't fake it. You cannot fake that, and to see it the way the guys have gone about their business, that's a big part of it. And of course, Michael Clark's led the way for so long with his batting. Some of the other senior players now are also following in his footsteps, and they were scoring hundreds. So basically, the Australians did the basics very, very well. They scored big scores, they had good partnerships, and they bowled brilliantly together as a unit. And England haven't matched that. So for me, it's more about how Australia's played and the pressure Australia have put on England rather than how England have gone about it.
Bit of talk of 5-0. Do you think it's possible?
Well, they'll be aspiring for that. Every Australian team aspires to win every single Test match. So who knows? A lot can happen at Boxing Day as long as the boys keep their head on and they retain some humility and they work hard. Then why not? I mean, they're playing very good cricket. If the three senior bowlers can stick together, then it's definitely a possibility at 3-0.
Do you hope in some ways sort of the Australian team coming over here playing so well and winning the Ashes on this ground, there's some way sort of inspire your squad who would have been here to see it live? Well,
I think the Australian team and what we're doing with the Warriors or the Scorchers is very different. I mean, we've played some great cricket for particularly the last few months, so our guys don't need more inspiration. What I do know is that it lifts everyone's spirits. So if you're an Australian coming into Christmas and Australia have just won the Ashes, it lifts everyone's spirits, and that's no different than the Australians who are wearing Scorchers clothes or Warriors clothes. We all feel better about ourselves when Australia win the Ashes, and that's no different than the players who are in there.
An exciting time, I guess. Mitch talked off the back of what Justin said, just the format of the game, the crowd involvement, the adrenaline, I guess, flows as good as playing Sheffield Shield cricket is on nights like here or even in Brisbane.
Yeah, it's I've said for the last couple of years that the West Australian crowd is the best that we play in front of. So I think as a group we're all just excited to get out there, and like Justin said, on Boxing Day it's going to be a brilliant atmosphere. So it's really exciting.
Boxing Day is always my favourite day of the calendar year, and now to be able to play or be involved in a game here at the WACA on Boxing Day, it's going to be that. I mean, if you're a cricket tragic, you watch it all day and then play at night. How good is that?
Just on the makeup of the side, in your experience, how many spinners can you take into a 2020 game?
It's a good question. I think Hoggy and Michael Beer have done a brilliant job for us to have two of them. If we've got Ashton Agar who can also bowl some overs, or Ashton Turner, it just breaks it up really well. So traditionally, spinners have a huge impact in 2020 cricket. If you look at all the leading wicket takers around the world in 2020 cricket, it's usually the spinners. So that's something that a benefit or advantage we've got. We've also got Mitch coming back who can bowl slow, medium pace, and and at his height, you can't call it much more than that, surely.
I can't.
Seriously, about right-handed against it, but anyway. But to have those options with Ashton Agar and Ashton Turner, and then Mitch coming back and bowling, he's got some great rhythm the last few Shield games. To have those options are valuable in 2020 cricket.